We got the story from Daily Mail. Israel goes in. IDF confirms boots on the ground in southern Lebanon as bombs rain down from the sky after a day of ratcheting tensions. Yo, this is absolutely insane what is happening now. I almost didn't believe it, but of course I can believe it. The Israeli military last night confirmed that it had launched a ground invasion of Lebanon as fears mount that the escalation could plunge the Middle East into an all-out war. After a day of ratcheting tensions in the war-torn region, the Israel Defense Forces announced that it had begun localized and targeted raids against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. These targets are located in villages close to the border and pose an immediate threat to Israeli communities in northern Israel. So I'm just going to say this, because I don't know how much more there is to add with the ongoing tensions and escalation of war in the Middle East. But I think this is why Kamala Harris did not choose Josh Shapiro. It's not just that he was Jewish and they were concerned because there are elements of the left that are deeply anti-Semitic and there are elements of the left that are deeply anti-Israel. And Josh Shapiro had spoken positively about Israel. But you combine that with the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration knew that Israel was going to be ramping up this conflict. I do not believe for a second, considering it's only been a couple months, that Israel did not, and the U.S. did not have intelligence on the plans. The cell phone attack and the walkie-talkie attack was 15 years in the making. U.S. had to have known about that. U.S. had to have known about Israel's plans, or at least the possibility. And I imagine Kamala then said, choosing Josh Shapiro is a liability because the progressive left hates Israel, and many of them are anti-Semitic. But you add in the fact they're going to be moving in on Lebanon, that war is escalating. When this stuff goes down, the only thing that you will hear in the press is questions of Josh Shapiro over his stated support of Israel in the past, and they would make it a campaign issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just me saying this is going to sound anti-Semitic, but aren't we getting a little tired of how we're about to go into World War III because of Israel? I mean, is that bad for me to say that, Tim? That's a little frustrating that we're going to have to go probably fight a war with Iran. I support Israel. I don't like Hamas. I'm just saying it's inevitable.
But I think you look at the history of Israel in the United States, and I don't see a difference. So,
well, AIPAC controls every election. I don't like that.
I completely disagree. I think AIPAC is. So? I think AIPAC is deeply influential and controls a lot through their money. It wasn't. I don't think it was. Was it AIPAC who funded the opposition to Bowman and
yes.
Bush?
Yeah,
it was AIPAC.
Yes, it was. Yeah, but they didn't get Ilhan Omar out. But you know the conspiracy that JFK wanted AIPAC to register as a foreign agent, and then conveniently.
Well, I know that.
You've seen that.
But then you say conveniently is connecting a dot that we don't necessarily know we can connect.
That's true.
My point is this: people are only going to vote for a candidate that they want to support. And I was having a conversation when there were two rallies over the weekend: Rescue the Republic and Rage Against the War Machine. And we were talking to a couple people, and I said the only reason AIPAC is influential is because most Americans want to support Israel and like what Israel is doing. So AIPAC can target that, run ads, and they get the support. When we have Riley Moore on this show, and he outright says he supports Israel and thinks we should be defending them, I'm like, he's a Freedom Caucus guy, but he really does support and agree with funding and helping Israel. Many members of Congress are not lying to you and are not being tricked into supporting Israel. People in this country do.
You don't have to be tricked if they're paying you lots of money, Tim. I mean,
I think that's I think.
I served and I've trained with those guys for 2 weeks over in Israel, and out of all I have the French, who I also we have. I don't recall them all, but we trained with them, and they were the most. I went to Haifa, Israel. They're the most like America. The people were like the coolest people that I've ever met in all the branches. So, from my experience serving and training with them. Oh, I
was swatting a bug.
Okay. Well, yeah,
what did you think? I was like, get out of here, Raymond. Go away.
But yeah, that's so genuine. I am nowadays. This kind of stuff's going differently, but genuinely before all this mayhem in World War III, possibly, I supported them the most.
Dude,